Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Welcome into the Steelers Talk Live Show. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and that is our producer, Jeffrey Cooperstein. Coop, we went live yesterday. You had some business you had to take care of, though, elsewhere. So you're back today. We get to talk a little bit of Brandon Aiyuk stuff here after me and Captain Coley chopped it up here on the show yesterday. So welcome into the show, everybody. We already got over 200 people watching live on a Wednesday. And on today's show, the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got my final practice report from Latrobe. Final practice at St. Vincent College was held this morning. Got some takeaways from that. A lot of injury updates to get to today. And then I'll kind of break down the latest when it comes to the Brandon Aiyuk situation. Is a trade going to happen? Is he going to sign an extension? I think I have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen here. I'll let you guys know what I think here momentarily. But then we also got a full breakdown. You guys really liked the Arthur Smith offensive scheme breakdown. So today, we're once again getting nerdy, folks, and we're going to be doing the Mike Tomlin defensive scheme breakdown for our second segment today. Then we'll get into my preseason preview versus the Buffalo Bills. I got 10 storylines that you should be keeping your eye on Saturday night. And then we got the live Q&A so you guys can get your questions on today's show. If you got something on Aiyuk, if you want to ask me if you think the Steelers are going to get CeeDee Lamb, if you have any other questions, this is your opportunity to do so right now. Get those questions down there in the live chat by using hashtag Steelers or super chatting to get on the show. Coop, we already got our first Venmo alert here. So
baby.
So I will make sure to send that your way here.
Let's go. Let's go. Get your questions in and help us keep the streak alive. We are at 25 straight regularly scheduled live shows with at least $1,000. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. The show isn't possible without you guys, man. Plain and simple.
It's just been unbelievable, man. Today we can get up to 26 if we get to 1,000. Definitely don't need to get there. You know, we've already broken all the records for super chats and donations.
All the records possible at Chat Sports.
At Chat Sports. So if we don't get there today, it's okay. You know, all I care about is that we're going to be chopping it up today. But if we can get there, that'd be awesome. Keep the streak alive. We need $1,000 to make that happen. And we do prefer Venmo, Cashapp, or PayPal over Super Chat, guys. I'll tell you guys that right now. And the reason for that is that Super Chat on YouTube takes 30% of every dollar that you donate. So if you Venmo, if you use Cash App, if you use PayPal, that means that we get to keep more of the proceeds and we get to use more of your donated dollars towards getting new graphics packages, towards upgrading our studio, doing everything that money goes towards to help make more free Steelers content for you guys here on the channel. So I greatly appreciate you guys. If you want to send in a donation, it's not required by any stretch of the imagination. All I care about, and the only way you guys get love on this show, guys, is that if you go ahead and you love the Pittsburgh Steelers and you want to support the channel. Okay, so if you want to find me on Venmo, on Cash App, or on PayPal, you can find me on Venmo at Jack-Sperry, Cash App, # Captain Jack 19, and then PayPal at Captain Jack. Rabbit Coop is waving his towel because we got our first Venmo alert of the day coming in from Kurgan. King Kurgan coming in with a $69 Venmo to get us going, and he says he wants Michael Thomas. He wants the Steelers to sign Michael Thomas, San Francisco. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I mean, it does seem kind of like Coop that Aiyuk could be getting an extension done with San Francisco. I don't think it's over yet. I'll let you guys know my exact thoughts on our first segment today. But you guys know I've advocated for the Steelers to add Michael Thomas before. Does seem like the Steelers are content with the receivers they have in the building right now. It seems like they really like Van Jefferson, who's had a really good camp. Calvin Austin III has had a really nice camp as well. Of course, you got Roman Wilson coming back eventually from that injury, and George Pickens is your stud number one right now. So I think that, Kurgan, by the way, comes in with a 6 and a 9, says, yo, Yinzers, and says, rise, Steelers Nation. Let's go. Big shout out to King Kurgan getting us going early on today's show. Appreciate you, Kurgan. You're a real one, my friend. And I want to give some love to the people in the chat right now. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Cassie. My girlfriend is in the chat. She says, don't forget to click the thumbs up icon and like the video. Dominic is here. It's Your Boy is here. Kyle is here. Jim D. Pat Lepla made it this time. What's up, Pat? We got Alex L. We got Kevin Abshire. We got Nameless. We got Landon. We got Kevin Reed. We got Pickens Prods. We've got Alfie. We got Cynthia. We got Marcus. We got a bunch of. We got Nathan Glass. We got Nathan in the chat. One of the real ones. By the way, speaking of Nathan Glass and speaking of Kurgan Cold, I want to give a shout out here to our Black Diamonds. These are the people that have put in at least $500 in Super Chat or Venmo donations. Guys, they are the lifeblood of this channel. And I want to give a big special shout out to all the people that are part of the Black Diamond Club right now. I know you guys are going to hate me. I haven't gotten to everybody's stickers, all right? We've been super busy with all the Aiyuk stuff, but we're making progress, all right? So big shout out to Sam Pugh, F1 Video Watcher, Nathan Glass, Kurgan Cold, Platinum 666, Go Blue Buckeye, Elliptic 6, Gwendolyn, Maryland, Pittsburgh Fan 412, Omar's Burner, Kyle King, KJ Live Life, Hot Rod 24, My Mom Patty, Guffs of Sin, Fernando Martin, Cassie Voth, my girlfriend, Pat Lepla, Paranormal in the Funhouse, Anthony Fuller, Steelers Dad, Nothing, DJ KJ, Steelers Jacks, Keenan, Steelers 1969, Les McCullum, Hervey Dunn, The Jerk Is Mine, Damian Roy, Vince John, Alflag, Christopher Roy, Joe Sperry, my brother, Christian Andujar, CWK, and I do believe we have a couple. Yeah, we have a couple more here. Dylan Lewandowski, Tim Hannah, J.K. Bradley, Kareem Richardson, Big Dog 412, Uriah Probes, Matthew Ziegler, and Ollie. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. You guys are the absolute best, man. And, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon. If you haven't already, I really do appreciate all of your guys' support. If you've liked the video, I'll give you guys a shout out here. Or actually, Coop, if you want to give some shout outs here to everybody that types me. I see Lucas Skew, I see Nameless, I see Kurgan. Coop, take it away here.
I see Nameless, Luke Askew, Spirit Chaser, Kevin, I can't read. Steelers Dad's a real one. He's in
Hey, Steelers Dad is here. Let's go.
Rondon Julio, Nasty Fox, Kyle H. Tim Bayana says, I have just arrived. What up, Tim? Evil Hammer, Cassie's waving, saying me. What up, Cassie? Nico, Pickens Prods, Kenneth, Offsides Edits. Mile High saying, go Denver. F Denver. How about that? BA in the chat. Is Brandon Aiyuk here? Dominic, Alex. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, man.
We had a good show today.
So, Coop, you weren't on the show yesterday.
I was not.
So I want you to give your take on the entire Brandon Aiyuk situation, what you think's going to happen, what you thought of the reports that we got yesterday, and where do you think that the landscape is? Because these guys have heard everything that I have to say about it. I talked a bunch yesterday. Coop, you have the floor here. I gotta send a message real quick.
It has changed by the second, as far as I'm concerned. At one point, I thought he was going to stay with the Niners, get an extension done. At one point, I thought he was going to be a Steeler. It was a matter of time. Now I lean towards that he's going to re-sign back with the 49ers. It just seems that way. He was at practice today, mainly because he didn't want to get fined for holding out. So I think that's why he was there.
Yep.
But it sounds to me like he's going to end up back in San Francisco, which would be a bummer for the Steelers because I think he would be great here. That would be my prediction. I still think it may drag out at least a few more days. It
sounds like they're still relatively far apart on both guaranteed money and years.
Yeah.
San Francisco doesn't want to give him 4 years, and Aiyuk wants more guaranteed money.
I think ideally what San Francisco wants is to just give him a raise for this year.
Yeah,
but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen for Aiyuk. Steelers have already offered him $4 million, about $28 million. Or $28 million 4 years.
Exactly.
So, he's pretty much told the 49ers, you have to match what Pittsburgh has given me, or I'm walking.
Yep.
Now, I think San Francisco is hoping, okay, maybe we can have a little bit less guaranteed money. Maybe we can make it a shorter deal, all this different stuff. But Aiyuk's not having that.
No.
And, he was at practice today, but that's not a huge deal. He just doesn't want to get fined. He was fined for not showing up to practice for about the last week. So we showed up to the facility finally today because he doesn't want to get fined anymore. So
no one likes getting fined, man.
It doesn't mean a deal is done. It doesn't mean that he's definitely going to sign. I mean, we could get news on today's live show that he signs an extension with San Francisco, but we could also get surprising news that all of a sudden Omar Khan ups his offer and he's a Pittsburgh Steeler, right? But who knows?
It's subject to change, man.
If there's anything that we have learned about this saga, guys, it is that to expect the unexpected. All right, every time you think it's over or every time you think it's a done deal, it takes another turn. All right, so I'm not sure if there's not at least a couple more turns left in this. I would have to guess right now nothing gets done today. That is my guess.
L.A. Brooks says, let's get CD. You're not getting CD, Liam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting CD, man. I think the price tag's going to be too high. And I think you'd have to give George Pickens up in a deal for CeeDee Lamb, and I don't think the Steelers are willing to do that. I think it's Brandon Aiyuk or nothing at this point. So I'm almost done with this here, Coop.
You're good?
So why don't you tell the people that's on deck here while I finish up this message?
We have a loaded show for today. The latest news and rumors, of course, surrounding Brandon Aiyuk. Number 2, Tomlin's defensive scheme breakdown. We did a video on Arthur Smith's offensive scheme a couple of weeks ago, and you guys like that. So we're talking about the defensive scheme, and there's some good stuff in there, so stay tuned for that. We have preseason preview week 2 versus the Buffalo Bills, who we take on Saturday evening. And then last but not least, a live Q&A mailbag. So get your questions in using #Steelers or Super Chat to skip the line and get on today's show. Andre Washington, is Marcus Golden officially retiring?
Yes, he is.
He is done. The Steelers signed him, and then a week later, he said, I'm out.
It's actually kind of crazy how everything, because he was practicing well. He was actually playing really well. So I don't, unless like his body was just like so like not in condition, or like he really just felt like his body was hurting and he just didn't feel like he could go another whole season. He was playing well. So it surprised me quite a bit to hear that he was retiring. And right now it seems like the Steelers are seeing what they can do with the guys that they have on their roster right now. It's going to be interesting to see who wins that number 4 edge rusher spot.
So Herbig is the number 3 edge rusher.
Yep, Herbig is the rotational 3rd guy.
And then it's between like Kyron
Johnson, Jeremiah Moon, Julius Welshoff, who's a undrafted free agent this year, and then also Jacoby Windman, another undrafted free agent, had a really good week of practice this week as well. Okay, man, so we're going to get into our first segment right now. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We got over 400 people watching right now. This is an awesome show already. If you guys want to send in a donation, you certainly can. Again, you can find me on Venmo at Jack-Sperry, and on Cashapp, # Captain Jack 19, and then at PayPal at Captain Jack Rabbit.
Wanted to shout out Kurgan real quick. Says, any injuries that can give blood, plasma, and non-perishable food, please give. Absolutely, Kurgan.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Kurgan. Thanks, man. So we haven't seen Platinum 666 so far. I'm sure he'll eventually. He usually comes in a little bit later here on these midday shows. So we'll see what he's up to here. If he's not here by the end of this next segment, I might give him a little message here, see where he's at. But in the meantime here, I got the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's get into it.
Let's go.
Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and on today's show, we got a loaded edition of Steelers news and rumors to cover today. First up here, I'm going to tell you why the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't blinking on a Brandon Aiyuk trade. Omar Khan gave a take it or leave it deal to John Lynch, the 49ers GM, last week and hasn't moved off that offer. Today, I'm going to tell you why that is. Also, we're going to be going over my final practice report from Latrobe. Today was the last training camp practice at at St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Let you guys know what happened there. And then there was quite a few injuries at practice today, so we're going to be breaking those down. One of them is Nate Herbig, but there's also 2 other potential contributors for the Steelers that got hurt at today's practice, so make sure you guys stick around to the end of the show to see who those players are. And today we are doing a little bit of a like battle with our frenemies at the Browns Report here at Chat Sports. On yesterday's video, they got 836 likes, and Matthew Peterson has been trying to rub it in my face, this whole Brandon Aiyuk situation, for weeks now. In fact, this is what he told me earlier today. It is absolutely hilarious watching Steelers fans lose their minds over Brandon Aiyuk, one of the most overrated pass catchers in the NFL today. I'll take Jerry Jeudy over him any day of the week. I actually hope Pittsburgh trades for Aiyuk so he can destroy their cap for the next 5 years. F the Steelers. So listen, man, if you want to shut up Matthew Peterson right now, you want to shut his mouth, go ahead and click that thumbs up icon to start today's show and help us get to 1,000 likes here so we can put the Browns Report in their place. Okay, so now let's cover the latest on Brandon Aiyuk, because the last time I talked to you guys, there has been some developments here, okay? So the first up here, we got Mike Garafolo, who went on the Insiders on NFL Network last night, and he said from the Insiders on NFL Network, the 49ers and the Brandon Aiyuk aren't that far apart on a deal, which is why they haven't pulled the trigger on a trade to the Steelers, and Aiyuk is still hoping they can clear one final hurdle in the negotiations. So lots of people saw this and said, oh no, it's over. He's definitely going to get a deal done. Still no deal as of right now. And then right after Garafolo said this on NFL Network, former Steeler legend Antonio Brown goes on Twitter, or X, whatever you guys want to call it, and says Brandon Aiyuk wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and will not accept any offer from the 49ers. Source, Brandon Aiyuk. So Antonio Brown is claiming that Aiyuk has said to him that he only wants to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, is AB a reliable source? Maybe not here. But also then this morning, 49ers and NFL News 24/7, which is a more reputable source, said this morning the San Francisco 49ers have met Brandon Aiyuk's demands of annual salary, near $28 million per year average per source. The holdup, I'm told, is amount of years and guaranteed money on the deal. Niners want to give Aiyuk a 3-year extension, 4 years total. Of course, that includes this year. BA wants a 4-year extension, 5 years total. Okay, so here is the latest based on what I'm hearing. All right, number one, the Pittsburgh Steelers have come to terms with Brandon Aiyuk and his agent on a 4-year extension that would keep him in Pittsburgh for the next 5 years and pay him $28 million per season if he ends up getting traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? And if the trade goes through, something like this is what the trade package is, okay? My best guess, I don't know the exact details, but my best guess is that Aiyuk could become a Steeler, and in exchange, Omar Khan would be sending a 2nd-round pick next year and then a 4th-round pick in 2026 to the 49ers. And the Niners do not want to take that deal because they know they would be getting fleeced in that deal, hence why they're trying to make a last-ditch effort here to sign Aiyuk to an extension. And the other thing that's interesting here is that despite all the games that San Francisco has been playing in the media, Omar Khan hasn't flinched. He has said, this is the offer. You can take it or leave it. If you say no, we're fine. If you want to give us Brandon Aiyuk, an all-pro caliber wide receiver, for pennies on the dollar, we're not going to say no. Here's another thing that's happening right now. The San Francisco 49ers did up their price yesterday, their offer to Brandon Aiyuk, to a 3-year extension worth about $28 million per season over the next 3 years after this one, of course. And then Aiyuk didn't take that offer and hasn't accepted it yet because he wants 4 years on that contract, not 3, and he wants more guaranteed money than San Francisco is willing to give him right now. And guys, guaranteed money and length of contract are not trivial separations in terms of negotiations, all right? I know Garafolo said that they're quote-unquote close, but he said it was only one item that needed to get ironed out. Now we know it's 2 items that need to get ironed out, so it could take longer than people are thinking to iron out these details and come to an agreement that both San Francisco and Brandon Aiyuk find acceptable heading into the year. Now, the way that San Francisco gets this deal done is that they once again have to up their offer compared to what they offered yesterday, and they have to pretty much match what Pittsburgh is willing to give Aiyuk, which is reportedly 4-year contract with a $28 million per season stipend, all right? So that is something that San Francisco has not been willing to do to this point. And, I think that the decision is really clear here. And it really frustrates me that John Lynch is just continuing to play games here because it's not that hard, all right? Brandon Aiyuk has laid it out pretty simple. Either match or exceed what Pittsburgh is offering Aiyuk, or trade him to Pittsburgh. All right, it's not that hard. San Francisco seems to be pussyfooting around here and trying to, get Aiyuk for as little as they possibly can. But at this point, man, with an offer already on the table from Pittsburgh that Brandon Aiyuk would take, they have to at least match that, and right now they haven't done that. Number 4 on my list here, San Francisco and Brandon Aiyuk still feel like they can come to an agreement. There is a reason why Aiyuk hasn't shut down negotiations, and there is a reason why San Francisco hasn't traded Aiyuk to the Steelers. And that reason is San Francisco and Brandon Aiyuk both mutually want to get something done. So the fact that both parties want to get something done definitely points to an extension for Aiyuk happening eventually. But if those negotiations do fall through and they fall apart, Aiyuk is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and San Francisco will eventually pull the trigger. But that really is the question. Will San Francisco meet the needs of Brandon Aiyuk as they continue to negotiate a long-term extension? And where I'm at in this entire situation, guys, is that I don't think it's over yet. I don't think the chances that the Steelers land Aiyuk are 0. But if I had to guess right now, it seems like Aiyuk wants to be a 49er and the 49ers want Aiyuk. And when both parties want the same thing, usually a deal can be ironed out. Also today, Brandon Aiyuk was seen at the 49ers facility for the first time in about a week. He's been out of practice, all this different stuff, all camp. And today he returned to practice in just like shorts and a cutoff. He was wearing Niners gear, but keep in mind here, it's because he's getting fined, all right? He was getting fined from the 49ers for not being in the building. So he's back in the building today. He was spectating practice, so it's not necessarily an indication that a deal has been done. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. What's the percent chance that Brandon Aiyuk is a Steeler this year? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, answer today's pinned question. So now I want to go into what happens if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't land Brandon Aiyuk, all right? And I really want to dive into this question as to whether the Steelers need Brandon Aiyuk to have a successful 2024 season. And I don't think that the Steelers think they need Aiyuk to be successful this year. Whether you agree with that statement or not, I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers feel like the wide receivers they have in their wide receiver room right now is good enough to make this a very successful team heading into the 2024 season. And I really do believe that, man. But coming up here, I'm going to give you more thoughts here on what I think about Brandon Aiyuk and why I don't think the Steelers necessarily need him for the 2024 season. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics. You guys can go to chatsports.com/throwback to pick up this awesome Steelers throwback t-shirt from our friends at Fanatics today. You get a great price on it, all that great stuff when you use our link, chatsports.com/throwback, right in time for the season here. If you want to wear this awesome and simple yet elegant piece of clothing here from our friends at Fanatics, you can go chatsports.com/throwback. So right now, here is how the Pittsburgh Steelers likely see their wide receiver room right now. First, we start with George Pickens, who is that stud number 1 ex-wide receiver that Arthur Smith has needed and his offenses in the past to have work. In the past, this was A.J. Brown, right? And, this is really an offense that really centers around one ex-receiver that is dominant and can beat one-on-one coverage. And George Pickens can certainly do that. He fits that bill. And then Van Jefferson is kind of the more controversial one here, but I think that Arthur Smith sees Van Jefferson as somebody that's very similar to Corey Davis, who had very, very good seasons with Arthur Smith in Tennessee. You guys can take a look at what Corey Davis was able to do. And guys, Corey Davis is not a great receiver, right? People don't think of Corey Davis as like an awesome receiver that's putting up all these numbers, but he played pretty darn well in this offense as a number 2 receiving option next to A.J. Brown, with Arthur Smith calling the plays in Tennessee. And Van Jefferson is made in a very similar similar mold. They're a similar body type. Jefferson's even faster than Corey Davis was. So I think that Jefferson has looked really good in camp to this point. And because of that, the Steelers feel very comfortable making him their number 2 receiver. You have to remember, this is going to be a very run-heavy offense here in Pittsburgh this year. Lots of it's going to be crossing routes. Lots of it's going to be play action. And Van Jefferson, with his speed and his size, can be a good run blocker and can get open on those crossing routes, which is something that Arthur Smith needs in his number 2 receiver. Calvin Austin III is seen as the obvious passing down receiver, the guy that has the speed to take the top off the defense, but also he's really good in one-on-one coverage, man. You cannot guard Calvin Austin III one-on-one, all right? You look at the one-on-ones in Latrobe, man, this guy wins every single rep because he is that refined of a route runner. So when you do go to 3 receiver packages here with the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's going to be a lot of 2 receivers on the field, but when you do get that 3rd receiver on the field, Calvin Austin III is going to be that guy that comes in on obvious passing situations, and he's going to get open. And then Roman Wilson is your future number 2 receiver. So right now you have George Pickens as your stud number 1 guy for hopefully the foreseeable future, and then you're hoping Roman Wilson can take on that Corey Davis role eventually from Van Jefferson, if not this season. He's got some really good, he does a really good job run blocking. He does a great job on those crossing routes, which he did a ton at Michigan. I think that eventually he's going to take Van Jefferson's spot as the number 2 receiver in this offense. And if Van or Calvin get hurt this year, Roman Wilson can fill either one of those roles as either the number 2 or as the every down passing guy if one of those guys gets hurt. So even though Roman has started his career off with injury, I think when he comes back, he's going to be pretty darn good, and he is being seen as the number 2 receiver of the future here in Pittsburgh. And a little bit of a hot take here, guys. I don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers need Brandon Aiyuk to have success this year, okay? And the reason why I say that is we have to remember who the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers is, and that is Arthur Smith. And if you remember, with Arthur back there in Tennessee during the 2019 and 2020 seasons, specifically 2020, Tennessee was the number 1 seed in the AFC with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. He was the number 1 seed in 2020 with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback, and he had one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the National Football League. All right, guys, if you don't believe me, here's what the Tennessee Titans wide receiver room looked like in 2020. Again, this was a number 1 seed team and one of the best offenses in football. A.J. Brown is the only star in this group, just like the Steelers' only star is George Pickens. Could the Corey Davis role be filled by Van Jefferson? Absolutely, and I actually like the Steelers' depth more than what Tennessee was working with during that 2020 season. And of course, the year prior to that, they went to the AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill, who had an awesome season in 2020. And we know Ryan Tannehill has never put up these kinds of numbers outside of an Arthur Smith offense. The fact that Arthur Smith can elevate a passing game with the run game the way that he does, I think shows that this Pittsburgh Steelers team can be extremely successful this year, even though they don't have the best wide receiver room in the National Football League. But I hear you saying at home, but Jack, what happens if George Pickens gets hurt? And that is the big concern, right? If Pickens goes down, this receiving group and this passing game might be in big trouble. All right, and when that happens, I think the Steelers would bring in somebody else. They would trade for somebody, they would sign somebody, but they're not living in their fears right now. Right now, Pickens is healthy. And they're not really worried about that right now, and that's kind of a bridge that they're willing to cross if they don't land Brandon Aiyuk. So discuss it for me down there in the comments section. Do the Steelers need Brandon Aiyuk to have success this year? I don't think they do, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Give me a yes or a no. To be clear, I want the Steelers to trade for Aiyuk. This wide receiver room is undeniably better with him in the room, and I want them to do it. But if they don't do it, I don't think it's season over. That's all I'm saying, guys. So before I go here, I got one more practice report from Latrobe. Today's video is already going a little bit long, so we're going to keep it a little short, and we'll talk a little bit about the QBs here. And I thought that both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both had good weeks. They're moving the ball down the field. They're targeting the middle of the field efficiently and accurately, which is what you want to see from your starting quarterback. And right now, I do think Russ got most of the first-team reps today. I'd say he took about 90% of the first-team reps today. So that tells me that he's really ramping up. This team sees him most likely as their starting quarterback for week 1. And I do think that's where he's going. He's looked sharp. He's looked efficient. He's been accurate. And I'm really excited to see what he looks like against the Buffalo Bills this weekend in his first game action. Now, a couple guys were injured at practice today. Nate Herbig, the offensive lineman, left practice. Same thing with Graylin Arnold, who's been getting a lot of first-team reps at slot corner. And then Jonathan Ward, who's been having a really good camp in preseason as a running back, also went in early today. So I hope that all those guys are going to be good to go for Saturday's game. And make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Again, we're going to be going live for the watch party this weekend on Saturday. So really do appreciate all of your guys' support. And until next time, here we go, Steelers. Woo!
It may be, I don't even know if it's a hot take to say the Steelers need Brandon Aiyuk. Do they want him, and would he make them better? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do they need him? I don't know.
I think there's an argument to be made that they need him to win a Super Bowl.
Fair.
And listen, if Van Jefferson stinks, if Van Jefferson is the second coming of Allen Robinson and he's worthless this year, that means that teams can pretty much just sit into brackets with George Pickens and they can just double him.
They could.
They could do that. But Van Jefferson's been great in camp. He is exactly the mold that Arthur Smith looks for in a number 2 receiver. That's why they signed him so early in free agency.
True.
They signed him really early on in free agency because they believe in this guy. He's been working his ass off all offseason. He had a really good performance in the preseason game last week against Houston as well. Remember, he had that awesome catch that could have been intercepted from Justin Fields. Yeah. I mean, this guy, I think he can surprise some people this year, man. I really, really do. Does Aiyuk help their chances? 100%. Is he more of a sure thing? Absolutely. Would I pull the trigger on 2 second-round picks for Aiyuk right now? Yeah, absolutely. I would. But if you don't get Aiyuk, I don't think the season's over. In fact, Arthur Smith, like we just said, had much less in the wide receiver room, in my opinion, in 2020. And he got 33 touchdowns out of a guy like Ryan Tannehill, who stinks.
He stinks. Shout out to Carter with the $2 super chat, says put this towards Brandon's contract. We will give this to Omar Khan.
Carter, appreciate you, man. We'll give that $2 to Omar Khan. Put it towards the Brandon Aiyuk contract. I don't think the contract's not the issue. It's the trade compensation
exactly.
right now. Then we got $20 super chat from King Kurgan himself. Says, Cleveland Steamers, it's on. Y'all really going to get a beat down.
Oh, they will.
They will. When that video goes out later today, I guarantee you we'll get at least 1,000 likes.
Every single time that any channel at Chat Sports challenges us, we pretty much crush them into the ground. So.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm actually going to send a quick message here to Platinum because he wasn't here yesterday and he hasn't shown up so far today. So I want to make sure that if he wants to join us, he knows that we're live.
Shout out to Platinum. Shout out Cody DeWitt. Morgan Weezy says that's why I wanted us to get Aiyuk because teams will just double Pickens. It's a fair concern for sure. Kaleo DePlug says CeeDee Lamb. They're not getting CeeDee Lamb. Paranormal in the Fun House, Black Diamond member. Shout out to you, my guy. Says, I just heard on Steelers radio that he was not interacting with anyone. It's all false reports at camp. He didn't do anything except sit there. Interesting. I know he was there. He was definitely there. Will Slush says $14 million for this year for the production he's giving him is why he is doing this. Absolutely. He wants a raise. He definitely wants a raise. And it sounds like that, I don't know, him and the Niners are still a decent ways apart on a deal.
By the way, we do have a Venmo alert here. So we'll get to this here in just a second. I'll send this to you.
Dylan Lewandowski in the chat. Shout out to Dylan. What's going on, brother? What is going on? Tim Byhanna, Tim Haney as well. David Whiteman.
There you go. Just sent it.
All real ones in the chat.
So coming up here, we got the Mike Tomlin defensive scheme breakdown. If you love football analysis, if you love learning more about football, you're going to love this next segment, man, because Mike Tomlin has been one of the best defensive minds in football for a long time, man. His defensive scheme has worked with a lot of different personnel. It's worked with a lot of different players. And I'm really excited to break down his scheme. We broke down Arthur Smith's scheme a couple weeks ago, and you guys really seemed to like that video. So we're going to do the defensive breakdown today.
They love when you turn into a nerd.
Oh, yeah. They love Nerdy Sperry.
Oh, yeah.
Got a $10 Venmo from my man Ronnie Everett. Let's go, man. Ronnie coming in with a $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Ronnie. I want to see people spam Ronnie in the chat right now, man.
Let's go, baby.
Spam those Ronnies.
Dominic asked.
By the way, he sends a message. He says, "Honorary Georgia Yinzer appreciates the show." Ronnie, we appreciate you,
Ronnie.
man. We appreciate you. We got Dylan spamming Ronnie in there. We got Lil Slush. We got Kurgan. We got Kareem Richardson typing Ronnie. We got Dominic. We got Tim Biana. We got Steelers Dad. We got Big Dog 412. What were you going to say, Coop? Pittsburgh Fan 412 is here. Let's go.
Limesy as well. Dominic asked a good question, though. He says, do you still think it is up to Aiyuk?
It's up to the Niners.
So you don't even think it's Ayuk's decision anymore?
No. Well, in one way it is. Because if he says, I'm not signing an extension with you, trade me.
No matter what.
Trade me.
Yeah.
It's a trade.
Yeah.
If he shuts down negotiations, Aiyuk can certainly put it in his hands. The thing is, I don't think he wants to do that.
Right.
I think his number one destination is to stay in San Francisco, and who can blame him? He's got Kyle freaking Shanahan as his head coach. You got Brock Purdy. You've got a great connection. You got Christian McCaffrey. You got a great defense. You got a chance to win a Super Bowl pretty much every single year at this point. If I'm Aiyuk, of course I want to stay in San Francisco. All right, and that's the reason why he hasn't shut down negotiations with them yet. Because if an agreement can be ironed out between him and the Niners, that's the best case scenario for Aiyuk.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's not willing to sacrifice the money that he could make in Pittsburgh. So he would rather go to San Francisco than Pittsburgh. But if he's going to make more in Pittsburgh and San Francisco is not going to pony up the dough.
Right.
He wants to go to Pittsburgh because he understands this second contract could be his one opportunity to really cash out. And he understands that, and he doesn't want to play games with that. Plus, it's not like Pittsburgh is a terrible organization to go to if you're moving away from the Niners. Super stable organization, great head coach in Mike Tomlin, elite defense. You're going to have another good receiver in George Pickens to bounce off of so you don't get too much double coverage. A similar offense to the one they run in San Francisco. And hopefully either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is good. And even if they're not, that defense, the weapons, the head coach, all of it's going to be attractive for a free agent quarterback next year. So, if you're Aiyuk, Pittsburgh sounds like a pretty good spot to end up. But he obviously wants to be back with San Francisco because who wouldn't want to be back there, right? So if he can get paid the money that he feels he deserves in San Francisco, he'll be a Niner. The Niners want him. Aiyuk wants the Niners, all right? Both sides want the same thing. But if they can't come to terms on that deal, then they're just going to accept the trade and Aiyuk will be a Steeler. Right now, I'd put it at about a 75, 70, maybe 80% chance they get a deal done. And he won't be coming to the Steelers, but, at the end of the day, like I just explained, I don't think the Steelers need him to really be a good team this year. Again, Arthur Smith led an offense that was the number one team in the league that year, or at least in the AFC. Again, the AFC had teams like the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen and the Bills. Ryan Tannehill and the Titans had a better record than all of them that year. All right, and that was with a worse wide receiver room than what the Pittsburgh Steelers have now. Arguably a worse defense than the Steelers have now. A worse head coach.
There you heard it.
I think the Steelers are going to be good regardless, man, but Aiyuk would probably take them to another level. That's pretty much where I'm at.
If anything happens, we'll keep you up to date.
Oh, by the way, we got a Venmo alert.
Oh, do we? After this, we'll get into our segment.
After this next Venmo alert, we will get into our next segment. I did message Platinum, so if he's going to be showing up, that'd be great. If not, it's not a big deal. We're chopping it up here on Steelers Talk. We got over 400 people watching live right now. Appreciate you guys. We're going to get to this next segment here momentarily while Coop gets that Venmo alert going. This is a black diamond, by the way, Coop.
Yep.
And this one, Coop's getting the sticker ready. My bad. Limesy's here, says, sorry I'm late today. It's all good, Limesy. We got Flash in here. We got Vernon. We got Kurgan, says, click the like button. We got Nameless, 730. Got Big Dog, 412, going, Yuke. Pittsburgh Fan, 412, says, I'm assuming our streak is over. What did it end at? Our streak is not over. Our streak is still alive. We're currently sitting at 25. Currently sitting at 25 straight regularly scheduled live shows.
Shout out to Kareem.
So shout out to Kareem Richardson for a $15 Venmo, one of our Black Diamonds. I'm so sorry, Kareem. I haven't gotten to your sticker. This whole Aiyuk situation has got me scrambling these last 2 weeks. So I promise I'm going to get to these stickers this weekend, all right? Unless there's a trade for Aiyuk this weekend, I promise you, I will get these stickers done. So I appreciate you, my man. Thank you to Kareem. I want everybody showing some love to Kareem down there in the chat. Appreciate you, my friend. All right. Let me take one more drink. All right, man. Time to get nerdy here. Mike Tomlin, defensive scheme breakdown coming at you guys right now. Mike Tomlin has been one of the best defensive minds in the National Football League for almost 2 decades now. So what about his defensive scheme makes it so successful, and why has he been able to get success with a bunch of different players that have come and gone in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization? Today, we're going to answer that question today by breaking down the bread and butter and his favorite schemes to run in his defense today. But make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you love Coach Tomlin, you think he's one of the best coaches in the National Football League today, I certainly feel that way. If you agree with me, make sure you kick off today's show by clicking that thumbs up icon. So let's start with Tomlin's resume here. And in 17 years as the Steelers head coach, 11 of those seasons, he had a top 10 defense. All right, that's more than half. It's quite a bit more than half of the seasons he's been here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The defense has been top 10 in the league. That is unbelievable. The only other defensive coach in history that really can even match that percentage is Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots, who's the greatest head coach in the history of the sport. You take a look at his profile here. The tree that he comes from is aggressive 3-4. We'll talk a little bit more about what that means here in a second. His influences come from Monty Kiffin and Tony Dungy back when he was an assistant with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the early 2000s when they ran the Tampa 2. Nick Saban, former head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and then, of course, his former defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau. Tomlin has also been proven, this defense and this scheme that he likes to run has been proven to work with a number of different personnel groupings here with the Pittsburgh Steelers over a 17-year period as the head coach of the Black and Gold. So a little bit of a fair warning here. Yes, Terrell Austin does call the plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. And Tomlin has really never called defensive plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? He always gives it to his defensive coordinator. But make no mistake, guys, Tomlin is definitely the one coming up with the defensive game plans. He is very much involved in meetings every single week as well. He is the mastermind behind this defense, and he just delegates the play calling duties to an individual, his defensive coordinator. So let me know down there in the comments section before we really dive into the nitty-gritty here. Is Mike Tomlin a top 5 defensive mind in football today? All right, that's a pretty high standard. Top 5 in the game. Give me a yes or a no to let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question with a yes or no. All right, man, so let's dive into the fun stuff here. And the first thing that you need to understand about the Mike Tomlin defense, and really any defense in the National Football League, is that every defense runs pretty much the same coverages. They have all the coverages that you could ever think of in their playbook. It's just that different coaches have different preferences as to what calls to make in certain situations. So today we're going to be talking about what Tomlin likes to do, okay? And I really do think that he has really cultivated a style that is his own. It's relatively unique, and it is very, very effective, shown by his record like we talked about earlier. So on first down, he likes to go to, especially when on 3-by-1 formation, so 3 receivers on one side to 2 receivers on the other side, or 1 receiver on the other side. He likes to go to a Saban concept called Cover 3 Buzz Mabel. And this is a very common coverage in the National Football League, particularly on early downs. So the photo credit here goes to Brett Coleman, who is another YouTuber here on the platform who does a fantastic job. I think this is a really good representation of the responsibilities of Cover 3 Buzz Mabel. So you see the cornerback on the outside. That's Joey Porter Jr. for the Steelers defense. That is the man everywhere he goes corner. Okay, so pretty much no matter where that Z receiver goes, he's covering him. all the way over, all right? It doesn't matter if he runs a drag, a go, whatever. That cornerback is responsible for press coverage on that receiver one-on-one. And what that allows the rest of the defense to do here is essentially play cover 3 on the far end there, okay? So on the other end, that's going to be Dante Jackson, who's going to be playing bail technique as the outside corner, the number 2 corner. You get the nickel, that's going to be probably Beanie Bishop Jr., and then the strong safety, which is going to be Deshaun Elliott, is going to be buzzing down into the seam flat there to cover that side, okay, with the 2 receivers. Then you see the Y tight end there running a crosser. The Mike linebacker is responsible for him. That's going to be Patrick Queen. That's why it's important to have a really good Mike linebacker in this scheme. And then the Will, that's going to be Landon Roberts, is going to be responsible for the back if they do a passing concept. What this allows the defense to do, guys, is have a one-on-one coverage here, erase a receiver off the field, rotate a coverage, take care of crossers. It's very, very difficult to pass against this coverage if you have the personnel to do it right, and usually the Steelers do. So that's why they go to it on first down. So coming up here on today's edition of Steelers Talk, I'm going to be going over Tomlin's favorites on second and third down. I've already told you what he likes to go on first down, likes to go to that cover 3 look on first downs to get that safety down into the box and guard against the run. But coming up here, second and third down, but before we get into that, go ahead and get yourself an awesome t-shirt, a throwback t-shirt from our friends at Fanatics when you go to chatsports.com/throwback. The Steelers tend to play a very old school style of defense with Mike Tomlin. You can get an old school logo here on your next Steelers t-shirt to wear on Steelers game days this year. You get a great price from our friends at Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/throwback. If you use that link and you make a purchase, Fanatics is going to send us part of the proceeds. So I really greatly appreciate your support. So on second down, especially if they can stuff the run on first, okay, and it's a second and relatively long situation, Mike Tomlin likes to go to a Tampa 2 look. Now, a lot of you guys, if you've played Madden, you guys know what Tampa 2 is, right? You got 2 high safeties. You got the Mike linebacker running to kind of in between the 2 deep safeties and kind of the intermediate there in the middle of the defense, and then you've got 4 underneath defenders. So something like this here, okay? And Tampa 2 is a lot like cover 3, all right? You still got pretty much 3 deep defenders, but the reason why Tampa 2 is better in obvious passing situations is because of the leverage. In cover 3, the corners have outside leverage, so they're very susceptible to in-breaking digs over the middle of the field. However, with Tampa 2, the Mike linebacker can identify those crossing routes over the middle of the field because he is dropping back, and the safeties are playing with inside leverage, so if they try to hit that hole shot, they can blow it up. So it's like cover 3, only it's much more effective against some of the zone-beating concepts that a lot of offenses run in the NFL today. Then we get to third down here, and if it's a third and long situation, third and even medium, Tomlin loves to go to the blitz on third down. He always has, and he likely always will. As long as he's got guys that can really get after the quarterback, he's always going to want to cause confusion for opposing offenses by blitzing them. Now, a very classic Dick LeBeau style of blitz that he likes to run is this dog blitz, and that's what it's called. It's called dog, and essentially what that is, and most of you guys know, the Steelers have 5 down linemen, 2 outside linebackers, a defensive end, a defensive tackle, and a nose tackle. Pretty much what a dog blitz is you simply rush all 5 players at the line of scrimmage. And what that does is it creates one-on-one opportunities for your pass rushers, okay? That's what it does. It creates one-on-one opportunities for guys like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward, all right? If you've got all 5 guys going at the quarterback and there's only 5 offensive linemen to protect, that gives them one-on-one opportunities and they can get quick pressure. Another one of Tomlin's favorite zone blitzes that he got from Dick LeBeau is called Bronco, okay? And what this essentially is he brings out one of his edge rushers into coverage. He brings the Mike linebacker on a blitz, and he also brings a slot corner on a blitz as well. He has the strong safety come down in a Bronco coverage, and it's also called a Bronco when the edge rusher goes out as well. So this is a 3-3 fire zone blitz where you send 5 people, and it's very effective. Tomlin's been doing this 4 years where he gets one-on-one opportunities for TJ Watt on stunts, all that great stuff, and it's really, really effective in getting to quarterbacks quickly. Plus, with the strong safety coming down and the edge coming back out, you can get some really nice interception opportunities as well. But what he loves to do, and we know how pass-heavy the NFL has become today, right? Lots of 3 receiver sets. So to counter that, Mike Tomlin came up with this wrinkle in the early 2010s, and it's called contain. And essentially what that is you have 4 down linemen in your nickel sets, and then you blitz your slot cornerback. So back in the day, this was Mike Hilton, if you remember him. He blitzed all the time, so you'd have pretty much 5 people still attacking the quarterback, still get those one-on-one opportunities, and if you forget about the nickel corner, he's going to blow up the quarterback for an easy sack, all right? So this is definitely another one that works as well. You really hope that guys like Beanie Bishop Jr., Cam Sutton, Graylin Arnold are able to be effective blitzers so that Tomlin can go to this call in crucial third down situations. And the reason why blitzing, and specifically fire zone blitzing, works so well for the Pittsburgh Steelers is because it creates confusion, it creates a lot of pressure and quickly, and it forces sacks, incompletions, and turnovers, which of course is what makes an NFL defense go. It gets the offense the football back. It creates easy opportunities on turnovers as well. And there's just a reason why this stuff works and why Tomlin has been able to cultivate such a great defensive culture throughout his career as a defensive mind. So listen, man, I'm looking at this team right now, and I think in terms of the personnel, the Steelers have the best roster that they have had in years. You have T.J. Watt healthy. Cam Hayward is back healthy. Alex Highsmith is here. Keanu Benson looks like he's going to be a breakout star this year. You signed Patrick Queen to be that Tampa 2 guy that's going to be erasing crossers and all this stuff. That's absolutely fantastic. Minka is still here. Joey Porter Jr. is that Meg cornerback that's going into his second year. He looks primed for a great year. This is the best defensive roster we have had in the Steel City in a long time. And if everybody can stay healthy, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a top 5 defense in the National Football League this year. But let me know if you agree with me. Fill in the blank. The Pittsburgh Steelers will have a top blank defense in the National Football League this year. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, Tomlin's had a top 10 defense 11 times in the first 17 years here, so that's a pretty darn good track record. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Like I said, my prediction is top 5. I think they could go as high as the best defense in football with all the great personnel they have at their disposal. Obviously, you need to stay healthy if you're the Steelers this year, but they can pretty much go and be as good as their health allows them to be this year. If you love nerdy videos like this one, guys, we also did an offensive scheme breakdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers, breaking down Arthur Smith's scheme on the show a couple of weeks ago. If you want to check out that video, I'm going to ping that to today's video, both in the comments and description of today's show. That one's a really good one. I highly recommend it. And make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to learn more about the game of football and you want to learn more about the Pittsburgh Steelers specifically, right here on YouTube. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. Hey, we got a first-time super chatter here from Dave Botner. I want to see people.
Well, hang on. Before we give Dave love in the chat, he's kind of talking shit.
Really?
Look what he said.
Oh, mediocre Tomlin has literally won 2 playoff games against backup QBs in the last decade. Stop living in La La Land. It's been over. Duh. So, listen, man.
Sounds like a Browns fan.
So, listen, man, Dave is perfectly entitled to his opinion. If he thinks Mike Tomlin stinks, he's still a Steelers fan, man. I have no problem with Dave. I do disagree with it just because I think players win and lose games. I think coaches can lose games and lose championships. I don't think coaching necessarily wins you championships.
Agreed.
I think players and the guys that you have in your locker room decide those kinds of things. And listen, man, the mark of a great coach, in my opinion, is that you give your players the best opportunity to succeed with the talent that you have. The Steelers have consistently been in the conversation as Super Bowl contenders with Tomlin. Of course, they've won a Super Bowl with him as the head coach. All right, bad head coaches can't win Super Bowls.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. Bad head coaches do not win Super Bowls ever. It is the most competitive football league in the history of sports. I mean, you have to really cultivate an entire locker room. I mean, you listen to the players talk about Mike Tomlin. You listen to how other players on other teams talk about Mike Tomlin. They love this guy. I think that he's a great defensive mind, a great leader. And I've been saying he needs to get the right OC, and I think he's gotten that now in Arthur Smith. Then we got one from Titus Kitchens. It says, "Go Steelers. What's up, Titus? Good to see you. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Titus, appreciate you for the 5, man. Kurgan.
Kurgan's getting it going with Dave.
Kurgan's getting it going with Dave with a $10 super chat. Says, what's your team, Dave? Show us your rings. The thing is, I think Dave's a Steelers fan. He just doesn't like Mike Tomlin.
Interesting.
And that's okay, man. People can have their own opinions. We're all on the same team here. We all want to see the Steelers succeed.
As long as you're not a Browns fan.
As long as you're not a Browns fan, I'm cool with you, man. So, Dave, if you're a Browns fan, we might have to kick you out.
We've kicked out Browns fans before.
We have kicked out Browns fans before. We're not adverse to it. If you guys want to help out the channel, you guys want to send in a donation here, we can find me at Jack_Sperry on Venmo. I am _Captain Jack 19 on Cashapp. I believe my picture is of me and Cassie at the pool in South Carolina on both of those. Then
That's tough.
Then PayPal is at Captain Jack Rabbit. So if you guys want to send in a donation, that'd be great. Certainly don't have to. I appreciate everybody in the chat right now. We got a $5 super chat from CWK, one of our Black Diamonds. Says Mike Tomlin is an outstanding coach. He is just leaving me a lot to desire. And listen, Mike Tomlin will be the first person to tell you that they need to have playoff success.
Oh yeah.
But listen, man, he hasn't had a quarterback capable of winning playoff games in a very long time. I mean,
it's been a while.
When was last time Big Ben Roethlisberger was like a legitimate top 10 quarterback?
When they made it the AFC title game in 2016?
I'd say 2018 is the last time Big Ben was actually playing at a high level. He gets hurt the next year, and he's never the same when he comes back. Then you have to deal with Kenny Pickett's ass. Same thing with Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and still the Steelers were a playoff contender. I mean, most head coaches, we need to understand this right now, guys. Most head coaches, if they have a bad quarterback and a bad offensive coordinator, they are winning 3 to 5 games. Mike Tomlin has gotten the Steelers to over 500 and in the playoff conversation every year, despite having a quarterback play that was subpar, below average at the very best, and an offensive coordinator that didn't know what he's doing. Now, Tomlin is responsible for the offensive coordinator hires, but I've been saying for years, just like with Bruce Arians, if you give Tomlin the right partner to run the offense, he is a fantastic leader. We just talked about how his defensive scheme is incredible. 11 of 17 years, top 10 defense here in Pittsburgh. It's almost never been done before, that kind of longevity and that consistency. Only other person that's done it in history is Bill Belichick. Okay, so we have to look at it here. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. I have no qualms with people that think Mike Tomlin stinks. I just think they're wrong. And I think Mike Tomlin is an excellent head coach. And now that Arthur Smith is here, and I believe in him as the next OC. I mean, we talked about Arthur Smith earlier, right? He took a team with A.J. Brown and nobody else in the receiving room and made them into a number 1 seed.
Yes, he did.
He made Ryan Tannehill, who has not looked like a top 20, let alone top 10 quarterback before or after Arthur Smith left Tennessee, into a top 10 quarterback production-wise. 33 touchdowns to 7 picks in 2020. Ryan frickin' Tannehill. And of course, you're going to say they had Derrick Henry, and of course they did. But the Steelers have Najee Harris and Jalen Warren.
But Jack.
What?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
But Jack.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, man. I believe in Mike Tomlin. I believe in Arthur Smith. I believe in this football team. With or without Brandon Aiyuk. I would love for the Steelers to add Aiyuk, but I don't think they necessarily need him.
Agreed.
All right, man. We got our next segment coming up here. We got our preview for week 2 of the preseason, Steelers versus Bills. I got 10 things that you guys need to be watching out for here as we approach Saturday night's game. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today on Steelers Talk, I've got 10 things that you guys should be keeping your eye on for week 2 of the preseason here when the Pittsburgh Steelers play the Buffalo Bills on Saturday night. But before we get into all the things I think you guys should be watching out for, make sure you guys click that subscribe button. We know we are not going to be going live on Friday this week. I have my day off on Friday in preparation for Saturday's watch party, so we won't be going live on Friday, but we will be going live Saturday night for this preseason matchup, which we're going to be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, an hour before kickoff, with a full hour of pregame coverage. We're going to be going over a bunch of stuff, Super Chat Paloozas, all this great stuff, man. Had a great time on last week's watch party. It's going to be another good one this week, so make sure you guys click that subscribe button for live watch parties for our Pittsburgh Steelers all season long. Every preseason, regular season, and hopefully postseason game we're going to be going live for here with our watch parties. So if you want to hang out with your fellow Yinzers here on Steelers Talk on game days this year, now's your time. Click that subscribe button. First thing to be watching out for, pretty obvious here, Russell Wilson looking like he's going to get his first game action in a Steelers uniform this week. He's gotten up to full health in practice. He's even gotten to the point where he's taking a large majority of first-team reps. He took about 90% of the first-team reps on the final practice in Latrobe on Wednesday here. So he's looking sharp. He's throwing the ball downfield with accuracy. He's throwing over the middle of the field a lot, which is something he hasn't done a ton in his career. So he seems to really be buying into the Arthur Smith system. However, we need to see it against the live pocket, all right? Nobody's allowed to hit the quarterback in these practices. Kenny Pickett was a training camp and preseason god, all right? So we need to see Russell Wilson not suck against a preseason defense. Plain and simply. He needs to go out there and needs to prove that he should be this team's starting quarterback, all right? And at this point, he has to earn it, okay? Justin Fields has played well enough to this point in camp where Russell Wilson needs to go out there and earn the position for week 1 and beyond. I'm very interested to see if he's still having the courage to throw over the middle of the field with a live pass rush coming after him. Another thing I'm going to be looking out for, the other quarterback here that looks like he's going to be getting time in with the second-team offense, and that's Justin Fields. And the question is, can he play a cleaner game? Now, to be absolutely clear here, I don't think that Fields had a bad game against Houston. All right, I think both of the sacks that he took were not on him. They were mostly coverage sacks, and there was bad offensive line play. Also, the 2 fumbles I do not think were on him. I believe those were on Nate Herbig. Okay, I think that the placement of the snap was poor on the center's part, and that's not on the QB. Okay, but with that being said, I do want to see less negative plays, all right? I want to see him hit that out route to Van Jefferson on the money instead of leaving it inside and almost throwing an interception, right? I want to see him get through his reads in the correct way with the precise timing that you expect a starting NFL quarterback to do, especially because he's going to be going up against backups now, all right? He went up against the first-team defense in the Houston Texans last week. He got some nice experience, but now he's going to be going up against backups. And if you're not looking clean, if you're not looking sharp against backups in a preseason game, that's going to be something that is not going to look very good for Justin Fields moving forward. And he needs to play well. If he doesn't play well in this game and he can't play well against backups, how can you trust him to play well against starting caliber defenses? So who's going to be the better QB this year? Let me know down there in the comments section. Type RW for Russell Wilson or type JF for Justin Fields. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube is going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know who's the best quarterback on the Steelers roster. Another thing that I want to see is I want to see Mitch Trubisky suffer, all right? I want to see him on the ground. I want to see him throw an interception. I want to see him sacked. All right, this guy played terrible football for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2 straight seasons. And the last thing I want him to do is to go up against this team in Acrisure Stadium and slice up this defense. I don't even care if it's the second-team defense. I don't want to see Mitchell Trubisky play well in this football game. He didn't play great last week against the Chicago Bears, and I just hope that Mike Tomlin shows no mercy to this guy. I hope they show blitzes. I hope they show exotic stuff. I don't care, man. Don't let Mitchell Trubisky get hot because that's going to be a terrible look for this football team if he slices and dices them. Fourth thing to be watching out for here is who's going to stand out at the edge rusher position, because now that Marcus Golden is retired and the team hasn't really brought in any answers in terms of that fourth edge rusher, there's now 4 people that are kind of vying for that fourth edge rusher spot. We know TJ Watt's number 1, Alex Highsmith is number 2, and Nick Herbig is number 3. But in terms of that number 4 spot, Kyron Johnson and Jeremiah Moon are the favorites. But then undrafted free agents and Julius Welshoff and Jacoby Windman could both potentially win the job. I think Welshoff and Windman both have had really good camps. So if they show out in this game, they might even jump up Kyron Johnson or Jeremiah Moon. However, I will say Kyron Johnson's had a pretty darn good camp in his own right. Now coming up here, I got more preseason week 2 storylines to get with you guys, including my thoughts on what I'm going to be watching out for rookie center Zach Frazier. Before I reveal that, let's have word from our sponsor here at PrizePicks, which is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, PrizePicks is just you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and then watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the PrizePicks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks right now with as little as 4 correct picks, which means you can turn $10 into $1,000. That is, if you know ball. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. Now, obviously, there's no football projections to do right now, but we do have basketball projections. I'm going to take the more on Luka Doncic here, the more on Stephen Curry, and the more on Victor Wembanyama. Is this for preseason, Coop, or is those just those are just season projections. Cool. So you guys can download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks right now for a deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, run your game. Another thing I'm going to be looking for here in this Week 2 preseason matchup is how much run does Zach Frazier get with the first-team offense? Now, Nate Herbig did suffer a little bit of an injury at Wednesday's practice, so it's definitely possible that he doesn't play much, and in that case, I think Frazier could play quite a bit with the first-team offense, and I thought, played really well against Houston. Now, obviously, he was in the game against second-teamers and backups, so I'm kind of interested to see if he can have that same level of success as both a run and pass protector here against a first-team NFL defense. That's definitely going to intrigue me on Saturday night. Another thing to watch out for is the special teams game here. Will Cordero Patterson and Calvin Austin III get to play on special teams? We did not see either of them play their respective positions. CA3 is supposed to be the starting punt returner, and then Cordero Patterson is supposed to be one of the kick returners for the Steelers this year. So Patterson's back from injury. Quez Watkins was so bad in last Friday's game against Houston. There's no way you can put him back out there. So I don't know if they're going to put Scotty Miller back there. I don't know if they just put Calvin Austin III in there. But you just can't put Quez Watkins back there. I think that's absolutely clear. Now make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you can't wait for Saturday's game, I can't wait to hang out with you guys on the watch party, man. It's going to be a ton of fun. So make sure you click that thumbs up icon. Help do your part to make this video the best it can be. Then we get to Corey Trice Jr. here. And last week, he played more as like a backup outside corner, played a lot in the second half, but he's been getting a lot of run with the first-team defense with Dante Jackson out with a minor injury in practice this week. I think Corey Trice Jr. is going to get quite a bit of time with either the first team or second team defense here. And he's going to play a lot in this game to show what he can do. Speaking of guys that need to show what they can do in a game setting, Beanie Bishop Jr. had a rough week against the Texans last week. Lots of blown coverage, lots of things that he needs to clean up. But now that Graylin Arnold is dealing with a little bit of an injury, it looks like Beanie's going to get another shot to bounce back with the first team defense. I hope that the undrafted free agent can do just that. Peyton Wilson has been one of the stars of training camp and preseason to this point, not just for the Steelers, but the NFL as a whole. And I'm so excited to see him play on Saturday. This guy rallies to the football with such intensity and speed and great instincts. He plays with really good intelligence, knows how to diagnose different things that the offense is doing. Such a good player, man. Can't wait to see him play on Saturday. And then also, does Van Jefferson stay hot? I thought he played really good in that last preseason game against the Texans. He had that really tough catch on the throw from Justin Fields that was thrown too far inside on the out route, came down with both feet and a contested catch. That was really impressive. Plus, he got wide open on a sail route. Really, really sharp route from Jefferson. He's been looking damn good in camp. Arthur Smith, the OC, says that he's had a terrific camp. And it's looking like he's on track to be the number 2 receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. So shout out your guy down there in the comment section. Which non-quarterback are you the most excited to watch on Saturday night? Can't be Russell Wilson. Can't be Justin Fields. Can't even be John Rice Plumlee. All right, let me know down there in the comment section which non-quarterback can you not wait to see on Saturday. And again, guys, we do have that live watch party starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time Saturday night. Of course, kickoff is at 7 p.m. Eastern. A full hour of pregame coverage. We got postgame coverage. We got live play-by-play, super chat giveaways, all that great stuff, man. It's going to be a ton of fun. So make sure you guys join us. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, here we go, Steelers. All right, one more segment to go. Super chats are pulling, right?
They are indeed. They are indeed. We are good on questions, so get your questions in using #Steelers or Super Chat. Mailbag coming up. Also, you're still counting John Rice Plumlee as a quarterback, I see.
Here we go.
Steelers. Here we go.
Gotta love it. Marshall Green coming in. We got a couple of Venmo alerts coming in here.
Patrick Queen or we're done.
Who wears number 6?
Patrick Queen.
Patrick Queen?
Call me Patty or on that.
Patty or we're done.
Nice. Boom.
#Steelers or Super Chat. Get your question. I saw some real ones in there.
We do have a couple of Venmo alerts coming in here. So I just sent those your way, my friend.
Cool.
So if you guys want to get a question on the show, #Steelers along with your question down there in the live chat. We still have 335 people watching here live. So if you want a question on the show, #Steelers, or you can super chat. We do have a Black Diamond coming in here with a Venmo alert. Pittsburgh Fan 412 is asking, where's our belt? We actually ordered it a couple weeks ago.
It's coming.
And it's on its way. All right, it's on its way. And it's pretty cool, man. We got it. I didn't know that WWE literally sells a Steelers belt.
Oh, really?
On their website.
That's tough.
So we got the official WWE belt for the Steelers on the WWE website. And by the way, guys, it wasn't cheap. It was
love that.
It was like $560.
Let's go.
And it's on the dime of Raiders Report host Mitchell Renz.
Let's go, baby.
So we're going to be showing that off whenever it gets here, man.
Shout out, Dylan.
Shout out to Dylan, man. Black Diamond member. I'm so sorry, Dylan. You can go F Sperry in the chat. I haven't gotten to the stickers yet because of all the Aiyuk craziness, but Dylan, I appreciate you, my friend. Everybody spam Dylan in the chat. I see Kurgan spamming Dylan. Let's go. Ooh, we got KDTV says that's fire. That is fire, man.
It's gas.
We're getting an official WWE belt for this show. That's cool. That's really cool, man. That's because you guys gave us the best month in the history of chat sports for a single channel last month. It's because of you guys, man. That's not the right. Are you changing the amount there?
That's what you said. Oh, never mind.
Do have one more Venmo alert to get to here before.
Shout out Titus Kitchens.
So right now, we're $615 away from extending the streak, guys. We haven't seen Platinum yet. Unfortunately, Platinum must be busy.
All good.
We're all good, man. He's a busy guy. So if today is the day that the streak ends, 25 is a damn good number, man.
It's a hell of a number.
It's a hell of a number. So if we can, again, we're 615 away. So if we want to get there, great. If not, It's not a big deal. Now we're at 610 thanks to the $5.
We'll answer. We're going to answer CWKs to lead off the mailbag.
Oh, by the way, we need to give some love to Titus Kitchens, man. $20 super chat or Venmo from my man Titus. I appreciate you, my friend. I want to see some Tituses down there in the chat. I want to see some Tituses. We got Limesy in the chat. We got Ben. We got Troy. We got Ramon Valdez. We got Pittsburgh Fan 412. We got Mr. B Bible Podcast.
That's wild.
Got Pittsburgh Fan 412. We got Pittsburgh Steelers Fan 8. Got Dylan Lewandowski. We got Steelers Dad. We got Jeff J. We got Marlon Rivers. We got David Decker. Got Ben. Got Limesy. Got Isaac. Got Matthew Ziegler. Let's go, man. Kurgan goes, tight, tight, tight.
Woo! Tight, tight.
Blue, yellow, pink, man. Just bring me whatever that is.
Real ones know.
Real ones know. Oh, man. Titus, appreciate you, man. Tight, tight, tight. Titus Kitchens coming in with a $20 Venmo. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Let's,
We got one more?
We did them both.
Oh, okay. That's right. I thought we had another one. All right, man. Titus, appreciate you, my man. Let's get into the mailbag right now. Whew. This has been a fun show, man. Let's keep it rolling here with the mailbag coming at you guys right now. Welcome into the Steelers Talk Mailbag. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and I love doing these segments every week because I get to answer the questions that you guys are having about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Love having that two-way conversation with you guys directly. If you guys want to ask a question, you guys want to get on the show, you guys want to have your voice heard right here on Steelers Talk, the way that you do that is you click that subscribe button and you join us every single Wednesday for our Steelers Talk live shows. We do a mailbag just about every single live show, so really do appreciate you guys. Make sure you click that subscribe button and join our family today. And with that, I'll pause and open it up for questions.
What a hashtag this is.
Hashtag Steelers. Oh, my goodness. This is one big hashtag. $5 super chat from CWK, or a Black Diamond, says, Steelers, do you think if they don't get Brandon Aiyuk, will they try to bring back Juju? It's possible, man. It's possible. Tomlin loves him some Juju. He's going to be cheap. I mean, he got cut by the Patriots for a reason, guys. Honestly, I think Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin III, and Roman Wilson are all better than Juju. That's where I'm at, man. Now, maybe Juju can come in and surprise some people. He's been working with the route god, who's a social media route runner coach. Yeah. So maybe things have changed, but obviously the Patriots didn't see enough to keep him. So honestly, at this point, Juju got chronic knee issues. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Then we got Brian Gills. Hope I'm saying that right. Gills says, "Yo, Jack, excluding any clickbait material, in your own opinion, it's obvious that we can afford a premier wide receiver. Who do you see the con artist targeting in a realistic sense based on cap?" So not CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion. We're going to see who becomes available at the trade deadline then, especially if Van Jefferson stinks. Now, if Van Jefferson continues this hot streak that he's been on and he surprises some people and he can kind of be this team's Corey Davis. Remember, Corey Davis was not a great receiver that had really good production with the Tennessee Titans in this offense in 2020. Hopefully Van Jefferson can be that. But if DK Metcalf becomes available, Tyler Lockett becomes available, the Texans have some very good wide receiver depth. I guess we'll just have to see, man. But it does seem like the Steelers like their receiving room right now. But I'd say, probably DK or Tyler is probably what you're hoping for at the trade deadline at that point. Then we got one from Christoph saying if the Aiyuk situation falls through and Dallas puts CeeDee Lamb, God, I just said this, would you trade George Pickens and a high draft pick, first or second rounder for him? Would that even be enough? So first of all, I don't think Dallas is even going to be putting up CeeDee Lamb for trade. It's too late into the offseason, in my opinion. This is probably what it would have to look like. And honestly, this might not be enough for the Cowboys, right? They might ask for like another second rounder along with George and a first rounder. Because CeeDee Lamb, you can make an argument, is a top 5, top 3 receiver in football. So it's not going to come cheap. And there's going to be a lot of teams that want to get him if he's made available. So first, Cowboys need to make him available. Don't think that's going to happen. And even if he does, I don't think the Steelers are going to be willing to pay the price to go get him. So highly, highly, highly doubt CeeDee Lamb's a Steeler. But let me know down there in the comments section, would you trade a first and Pickens to get CeeDee Lamb? Type A for accept or D for decline. I'm guessing a lot of people are going to type decline here, and for good reason. But this will be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Got a black diamond in here. DJ KJ says, if the Steelers were to choose Justin Fields over Russell Wilson, how would the QB room play out for the next upcoming years or various versa? So listen, man, obviously if you're going with Fields this year, you're hoping that he's the long-term answer. And if you're moving off Russell Wilson that early, you feel pretty darn good that he is not your long-term answer. So Fields will still have to prove it. If he gets the week 1 starting job and he starts the entire season, he's still going to have to play well. And if he doesn't, Steelers will be looking for a new quarterback next year. But if he does play well, they probably sign him to a new contract, pretty hefty contract, probably upwards of 35 to 40 million, especially if he plays well. And that's going to be it, man. So Fields, if he gets the opportunity, hope he capitalizes. Going from Pittsburgh Steelers fan 8 says, I'm a huge special teams man. Do you guys agree Cam Johnson looks really good, like Pro Bowl good, or is that just me? He was awesome. He's been awesome in training camp, man. He's got a big leg. I think that's an underrated part of his game, is that he's got a big leg. And he can put it where he wants, which was the biggest thing Presley Harvin III, God not rest his soul, in the National Football League. He stinks. So, Cam Johnson, I'm really a big fan. I think the Steelers got themselves a good one, and I think it's really going to help things out in the special teams department this year. Got one from Kevin, the Elder God, says you would think once Frazier starts taking first-team reps in practice and a preseason game, it becomes his job to lose right. It depends. If Herbig's hurt, then not necessarily. I think it gives him an opportunity to earn the job for sure. But if he goes out there and he stinks, right, they might just go back to Herbig. So I'll say this. If Herbig doesn't play this weekend or the rest of the preseason and Frazier gets the rest of the first-team center opportunities, what I'll say is that I think that he's got an opportunity to win the job, for sure. But he still has to earn it. If we know anything about Mike Tomlin, is that he makes these rookies earn it, all right? And that's the way that it should be, and I think Frazier's going to do a good job. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he's the week 1 starter. Now, before we get to the rest of the questions here, go ahead and check out our friends at Fanatics. If you want an old-school, throwback, classic Steelers t-shirt for a great price today, if you use our link, chatsports.com/throwback, click that link. I'll put it in the comments and the description. You make a purchase, Fanatics is going to send us part of the proceeds. So if you want to help out the channel today and you want a brand new Steelers t-shirt to boot, go to chatsports.com/throwback and get this Steelers t-shirt on your body just in time for Steelers regular season. Go on from Kevin Reed, says, do you think McCormick supplants Daniels by the end of the season? I don't. And the reason for that is James Daniels is still really good. James Daniels is still young. I believe he's only 26 years old. Isaac Seumalo is definitely not going anywhere. Honestly, I think McCormick's best chance of playing is either A, somebody gets injured, or B, center. All right, because they've been playing a little bit at center this training camp here. Obviously, the long-term plan is Frazier to be the center. All right, that's not what I'm saying. But if Frazier is having a really tough time and McCormick's looking good, I mean, that's probably the second most likely way he hits the field this year, because Daniels and Seumalo are both really good. All right, so unless those guys get hurt, really don't see McCormick hitting the field this year. Going from Bill Norton Jr. says, as it stands right now, what % chance do you give the Steelers to land Aiyuk? Well, I'm recording this on Wednesday, by the way, for our live show. So if you're watching this in the regular video version, it's later. So maybe an extension's already done. Or he's a Steeler, so who knows? But right now, as I stand here right now, I'll say a 20% chance. 80% chance he's a Niner. I don't think it's 0, but it's definitely looking bleak at this point as I'm recording this. So let's say you guys, let me know down there in the comment section, what is the % chance that Brandon Aiyuk is a Steeler this year? Put it on a scale of 0 to 10. I gave it a 20. Let me know what you guys are thinking down there in the comments. Got one from Cash Ice 12. Says, thoughts on Michael Thomas. So we did some Michael Thomas content on the channel a couple months back. Steelers apparently aren't interested in him, but I think he could provide some value. Would he be better than Van Jefferson? I honestly don't know. Van Jefferson has looked really good in camp. He's getting open a lot. He runs a 4.39. He's fast. He's big. He's a good run blocker. Like in a run-heavy offense like the Steelers, I think that Van Jefferson is exactly what Arthur Smith is looking for. So Michael Thomas, he's older. There's been reports that he's been a bad locker room presence. I think he's got some really great contested catch ability. I think he can help the Steelers, but right now it seems like the Steelers really like Van Jefferson. Going from David Memes Master 1250 or 1205 says, if George Pickens goes down with an injury, are you concerned about our other wide receivers if one of them could take on that wide receiver one if Pickens was to get injured? Absolutely. This is my biggest fear right here. If you don't land Brandon Aiyuk and George Pickens gets injured, I think Van Jefferson, at best case scenario, he's a decent number 2. He's not a number 1. I don't see Roman Wilson taking up that mantle year 1 in the league, and I don't see Calvin Austin III, tiny receiver, picking up that role either. So right now the Steelers are really desperate to keep George Pickens healthy this year. If he gets hurt, it's going to be a big problem, and they might have to get desperate to get a guy like maybe Michael Thomas in that situation, right? Maybe you go really go out and give up a first-round pick for a receiver at that point. I don't know, all right? But right now, with the way things are currently set up, if George Pickens gets hurt, that's going to be a big problem for the Steelers. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already, if you are a real one. Really do appreciate everybody tuning in today. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon and help out the channel in this free and easy way. Going from, love this name, Cover 7 Lip Riz Stubby with the picture of Saban on there. This guy knows his ball. Says, do you think Van Jefferson will be closer to what Corey Davis did in 2020 under Arthur Smith, what Allen Robinson did with the Steelers last year? Let me take a drink before I answer this. God, I hope he's not Allen Robinson. If he's Allen Robinson, the Steelers are screwed. All right, because unless Roman Wilson is like really good in year 1, this team is screwed if Van Jefferson isn't like a legit number 2 receiver. Do I think he can get there? Do I think he could be as good as Corey Davis? Yes. I mean, does anybody think of Corey Davis as this amazing receiver? No. But in this offense, with as much play action and as much running that this team is going to be doing, there's going to be a lot of stuff schemed open in the play action game. So you don't need an elite separator as your number 2 guy. You just need somebody that's fast enough to go on the crossers, make a tough catch every once in a while, and be a good run blocker. And that's what Corey Davis was, and that is what Van Jefferson is, especially when he's healthy. People forget Van Jefferson has been hurt these past 2 years, which is why his numbers have been complete shit, if I'm being honest, all right? No production the last 2 years, but he's been hurt. Now he's back healthy. He's a talented receiver. He's fast. He can be a deep threat. He's a really good run blocker, and Arthur Smith loves him, all right? So if he's good enough for Arthur Smith, at least for now, he's good enough for me. So let me know down there in the comments section, will Van Jefferson be a legit number 2 receiver this year? Give me a yes or a no down there in the comments section. Is it just preseason hype for Van Jefferson, or could he actually be something decent? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. That'll be it for today's mailbag, guys. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now because I love you. I appreciate you. And if you want to join our family today and you want to get your voice on next week's Steelers Talk mailbag, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. All right, so I put on a 5-minute shot clock here, Coop. We did get a Venmo here, so I'll send that to you. By the way, we're about $600 away from extending the streak. We have seen no sign of Platinum 666 to this point. He must be busy, which is okay. But we're going to put on a 5-minute shot clock here whenever Coop gets it up. When that timer goes out, and if we haven't gotten to the mark yet, we're just going to call it a good streak. 25 straight live shows with at least 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
And if If this is the end of the streak, it's the end of the streak. I mean, at this point, you guys have already given me everything that I could ever want from this channel. So, what's another number to the streak, right? So we've already gotten to 25. We've had the largest show in chat sports history. We've had the biggest month in chat sports history. We beat the Raiders report by over 30,000 in donations last month.
It was unbelievable.
It's just been an unbelievable run, all right? So if we don't get there today, that's fine. That's fine. We're about 600 away right now. Coop, can we get to that Venmo alert?
Yes.
Whenever we get a second
sec.
here. We do have a Venmo alert here coming up. And we got about 4 minutes here to get to $600 more. If we don't get there, it's fine. It's been good, man. It's been real good. Pickens Prods really wants us to keep this streak going. I feel for you, Pickens Prods. It's been a great streak, man. If somebody puts in, or if 6 people put in 100, we'll get it done right now. But if not, man, it's not a big deal. I'm content.
Shout out Ziggy with the 20.
Shout out to one of our Black Diamonds, Matthew Ziegler, coming in with a $20 Venmo, helping us get there. Helping us out today. Appreciate you, Ziegs. Is Michael Thomas doing something right now?
I don't know. Is he?
Oh.
What?
The Vikings have apparently inquired about Saints quarterback Derek Carr.
I saw Trey says it's fake news.
Is it fake news?
That's what Trey says.
Well, Michael Thomas apparently liked it.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny, man. CWK says, I wish I had 100 to give. CWK, it's not a big deal, man. It's not a big deal. We love you guys regardless. We don't base how much we love you guys on how much you donate. We care about if you love the Steelers and if you support the channel.
That's it, man.
That's what you do, man. So we love you. We love you.
Shout out Tim Bayana.
Got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here on the shot clock. It certainly seems like Aiyuk and the 49ers are getting closer to a deal.
Feels that way.
I said going into the office today, Coop, that I didn't think something was going to get done because
You did say that.
it sounds like the Niners and Aiyuk are,
They're
Aiyuk
trying to work it out.
Aiyuk wants another year on his contract. That's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Aiyuk wants 4 years, and right now apparently San Francisco is only willing to give up 3. That's a big gap. That is not a small difference. Okay, and then I don't know what the figures are with the guaranteed money, but usually guaranteed money isn't a small difference either.
No question.
So is it still possible that these guys just can't figure something out and then all of a sudden, boom, wow, Steelers acquire Brandon Aiyuk? Yes, that is still very much on the table as far as I'm concerned.
Entirely possible.
But if it happens, the Steelers are going to fleece the 49ers because they're not willing to move off their current offer. And Aiyuk, at this point, Aiyuk or the 49ers has to pretty much just shut down negotiations.
No question.
But it seems like both sides want to get something done. It seems like both. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
We might have to. All
What
right.
do we got?
There we go.
You want to repeat that? Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
With the dot in there.
right.
That is correct.
All right.
Do have some Venmo alerts coming in here, so you can shut down the clock here, Coop. We're gonna extend this clock a little bit here, because Platinum 666 just joined the party.
Platinum.
So Platinum comes in with a $66 Venmo. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Platinum.
Don't forget 60 cents.
He says, don't forget the 60 cents. He says, hello to all.
Hello, Platinum.
So right now we are sitting at $450. So if Platinum wants to give away another Black Diamond, we can keep the streak
We're
alive. But if not a big deal.
All good. I'll reset the countdown.
So we'll restart the countdown here. Platinum just bought us another 5 minutes here. Right now we're sitting at $450 in donations, and that's perfectly fine with me. If Platinum doesn't want to send in any more money, that's fine.
He said just got in cooking fajitas.
Oh, let's go,
That sounds
Platinum.
awesome.
Cooking fajitas. Sounds good.
I love fajitas. Are we chicken? Are we steak?
Yeah, are we chicken or are we steak, Platinum? Let us know. I see Pittsburgh fan 412 down there. I appreciate all the Inns are still watching, man. Cassie's down there. Tim Biana's here. Force Sensitive is here. Limesy. Platinum 666. Christopher Roy is here. So we got 5 minutes here. And we're currently sitting at $550 away. If we don't get there, it's not a big deal. But since Platinum just joined us, I wanted to give him an opportunity to extend the streak if he wanted to. If he doesn't want to, that's fine. He's probably eating the fajita right now. It's where I want to be.
Are you a chicken or steak fajita guy?
I really like both.
Yeah, me too.
I really like both.
too.
If you gave me a plate with chicken and steak fajitas,
I'm happy.
I'm gobbling that shit up.
Oh,
Pause.
yeah. Pause.
I'm gobbling that shit up, man. By the way, we do have a couple of Venmo alerts coming in here.
Okay. Limesy says check Cashapp as well.
Gotcha. I will check my Cash App. Got a couple more coming in. We got Les McCollum.
Oh, he's here.
Oh my God, everybody's coming in late today.
Shout out Les.
Everyone's coming in right at the end. Let's go. Les McCollum, a black diamond, is coming in. We will get to the Venmo alerts here momentarily as well. Got about 3 minutes to go. We need about $500 to keep the streak alive here. So Les McCollum comes in, says, Les G in the house. Les, it's good to see you, man. Hope that your twin boys are doing good.
Shout out to you, Les.
Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you stopping by today. I tell you what, man, if you're showing up late today, I would recommend going back and watching our segments today.
Absolutely. Go watch
We had a lot of really good stuff today. So if you're just joining us here right at the end, after we sign off here, I'd recommend going back and watching some great stuff that we had on the show. Elliot coming in with a $20 Venmo. Everybody send in. Everybody send in those Elliots. I want to see some love for Elliot down there in the chat. Did he send a message with that? He says, never give up.
Let's go.
Never give up. I love it.
Also, is this a first-time Venmoer, this next one?
I think so. First time Venmoer. This is actually on Cash App. Cameron Erickson.
Shout out Cameron.
Shout out to Cameron. I think this might be Limesy.
Okay.
I think
it probably is.
This might be Limesy because he told us to check Cash App.
Probably
so
is. Shout out Limesy.
Appreciate Limesy there for the $1 Venmo. Appreciate you, my friend.
And we got Gold Club member Austin Tardif in the chat.
Austin, let's go.
Says yo.
I know Austin is he's either moving in or he's already moved into his new house. So congratulations to you, Austin. I know you've been working your ass off here, so I appreciate you stopping by here on a beautiful Wednesday. He says yo for the $2 super chat.
Oh, I like this one from B-Shep. He says JF2, baby.
B-Shep
JF2.
with the $2 super chat for Justin Fields, baby. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Appreciate you, B-Shep, for the $2 super chat. Just got a Venmo, by the way. And I'll send that in. Boom. So right now, oh, man.
What?
Got another one. All right, man. Here's the thing. The super chats and the Venmos are flowing.
The shot clock goes off, baby.
So the shot clock continues.
Oh.
We'll stay live for as long as you guys want to keep it going.
Shout out to Derek for the $40 Venmo. We love you, Derek.
All right, just sent. Okay. Kurgan is still with us. Oh, so Derek comes in with a 40. Everyone spam Derek in the chat. He sends a message and he says, I'm late. All good, Derek. Just glad you could catch us here at the end of the show, man. Oh, shit.
Sperry's distracted. You guys are distracting Sperry right now.
Yeah, sorry. There's a lot coming in here, so we're getting close. Why is everyone late today?
I love it.
Do we need to
Better late than never.
Do we need to start these live shows later in the day so that you guys can make it? Let me know.
We got a big one coming in, Spare Dog, from Dylan.
Hold on.
Lewandowski. Dylan's coming in with the $90 super chat, baby. Let's go.
Dylan you know what? He says he's sending in the 90 for TJ Watt. This is deserving, in my opinion, of a Dylan Lewandowski bag. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Let's go, Dylan, coming in with a 90. Let me say, I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Don't think I am. We got another one here, Coop.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Cool.
So let's go smallest to biggest
Let's
here.
go with this one first.
Okay, cool. Because this one's rolling in from Princeton Cummings bag. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. By the way, can you do me a Kurgan is asking for our Cashapp and PayPal down there. So before we show this next Venmo alert, let's flash that, Coop. Do have another Venmo alert coming in here.
Here's Cashapp and PayPal.
So that is our channels donation channels there at Jack Sperry on Venmo, money sign Captain Jack 19 on Cash App, or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. Take a screenshot if you don't think you're going to remember down the road here.
We appreciate you guys.
We appreciate the heck out of you, man. This is the best damn community any person could ask for. Let's go. All right, so we got
this one coming in.
All right, so this is actually two of them. So Pittsburgh
Correct.
Fan 412 puts in a $66.60 Venmo for Mr. Platinum 666. He says, "My man, Platinum 666," and then he sends in a $69 Venmo and
Very
69-cent
Very
Venmo for Mr. Kurgan Cold.
The
So we're going
real
to
one.
combine these here. This one's rolling in from Pittsburgh Fan 412 bang. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Got another one here, Coop.
Oh, we do. Let's get to this one, though. I'm ready.
Okay. All right, folks. We put on the timer when Platinum got here because we wanted to see if he wanted to get something going.
I'm ready.
And now this one's rolling in from Platinum 666. Bang! 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 Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, So
Platinum
666. And by the way, with that one right there, we have just extended the streak to 26 straight shows. You guys had me worried there
Shout
for
out
a
to
little bit.
Le'Veon Bell, baby.
You guys had me worried there for a little bit.
We're on our Le'Veon Bell.
We're on Le'Veon Bell shit right now. 26 straight live shows with at least 1,000. Big thanks to Platinum 666, Kurgan Cold, Dylan Lewandowski, everybody that has spent money today. Les McCollum, Limesy even put in $1 today, which is awesome.
David Skinner as well.
David Skinner, let's go. $5 Venmo. Everybody spam David in the chat. Everybody spam David in the chat. Let's go. And by the way, Platinum wants me to give away a Black Diamond. So I'm going to give this to somebody that really wanted this streak to continue today.
Okay.
Mr. Pickens Prods.
Let's go. Pickens Prods. You're in.
Pickens Prods. Congratulations, my friend. You are now the latest member of Steelers Talk Black Diamond Club, man. You deserve it. You were pleading with the Black Diamonds to make something happen. And guess what? They made it happen today. So guess what, Pickens Prods? You're a Black Diamond.
Shout out to Jaden Shaw coming in with the $5 super chat. Jaden says, excited to see what Arthur Smith does this year, but I'm also kind of scared because I don't want Muth to have the same target issues Pitts had in Atlanta.
So here's the thing with Pitts. People think he's this awesome player. He's not. He stinks.
You lie.
Kyle Pitts is not a good separator in man-on-man coverage. He was he's one of the biggest draft. Here's the thing, man. I like Kyle Pitts. All right, he's a big guy. He moves well for his size, decent hands, but he was billed as the next great offensive weapon at tight end. And when he didn't work out, people didn't want to say they were wrong on him, so they just blamed the coach for not using him right. All right, when you watch Atlanta's film from last year, Pitts wasn't open a lot because they'd just man him up and he wouldn't get open. So what do you want him to do? Plus, the quarterback stunk. All right? Desmond Ridder was worse than Kenny Pickett last year, and that's saying something. All right? That is how bad Desmond Ridder was last year. So I don't think Muth is going to have the same issues that Pitts had because Muth can get open. Kyle Pitts has a tough time getting open, man. Oh, my gosh.
We got a 5 coming in from Hymnal Star.
Hey, Hymnal Star, $5. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
He says, BA is getting way too much attention. Any wide receiver would do well in his spot. We got what we need. Van looking like an all-pro to me. Y'all seen the catches.
Listen, man, I'm optimistic about Van Jefferson. He's looked good in camp. You realize that there's only 6 all-pros, right?
Platinum is asking Raiders to Steelers year-to-date totals. We don't have that right now, Platinum, but we can get that number.
Absolutely.
We can get that number for you here in the next day or so.
Okay, so we got...
Mile High,
you're getting
banned. He's done.
What'd he do? Did he say somebody was an idiot or something?
No, but he used some language that we don't tolerate here at Steelers Talk. So he's gone.
So we got some more Venmos coming in here. Hymnal Star. Listen, man, I think Van Jefferson has a legitimate chance to be a pretty good wide receiver too. All right, and you look at the history of Arthur Smith, what he needs is a run game. If you give him a good run game and then a really good number 1 receiver, we're hoping George Pickens is that this year, the offense can work. It really can. And plus, you look at all the speed on the Steelers wide receiver room right now, man. You got Van Jefferson who runs a 4.3.
Calvin.
Calvin runs a 4.3, right? He might even run a 4.2. Roman runs, I can't remember what he ran. I think it's a low 4.4, but he's really fast, all right? And then you got George Pickens, who's really good on the sideline as well. So you got a lot of speed in the wide receiver room. It's going to be a ground and pound run offense.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing the ball deep off of play action. That's what this team is going to be this year. All right, so the fact that you have all this speed in the room, it should be encouraging to people. It really should. Got a couple, looks like I got a new Venmo alert here.
Shout out to Kurgan Cold for the $4.12 Venmo. Shouting out Pittsburgh fans 412, baby.
I do want to say, this was a Cashapp. So usually Kurgan's a Venmo guy,
I love it.
but he's sending in Cashapps now. So big shout out to Kurgan. He says he sent this one in for his man, Pittsburgh fan 412.
Let's go 412.
So big shout out to Kurgan there for sending in that latest super chat, or not super chat, the Cash App. Got this one. But let's get to the other one.
Oh, we're getting to the kahuna.
We're getting to the kahuna. So big shout out to Pickens Prods for joining Black Diamond Club, courtesy of our friend Platinum 666. But guess what, man? This one's rolling in from Platinum 666. Bang! 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 Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Let's go! 666 with a $500 Venmo. And he wants us to give away another Black Diamond.
Who you got?
Let's see. Everybody type me in the chat if you don't have a Black Diamond right now. If you don't have a Black Diamond, type me in the chat. Come on now. Spam me in the chat right now if you want a new Black Diamond. I see Kane in there. I see Jermar. I see Elliot. I see Durf. I see Kane. I see Jermar. I see Tyler. All right, so this comes directly from Platinum, so I'll give Coop the option to take it or not. He wants Coop to get one.
A Black Diamond? I don't want a Black Diamond because I don't want to take it away from somebody else in the chat. I appreciate you, Platinum. I really do. But I want someone in the chat to get one. Sperry and I don't need Black Diamonds.
Yeah, we don't send in donations.
Exactly.
We already have we don't need Black Diamond memberships, man. The reason why I love Platinum and Kurgan and all these guys that donate Black Diamonds so much.
It's for the chat.
It's for the people that can't afford one, right? It's for and like.
I appreciate you.
We already have enough, man, just to have the honor to do this show. So. You know what? I'm going to give this to somebody that's been with us for a very long time. I know he can't spend that much right now because he's working his ass off for his family, but he deserves it just about more than anyone else. Congratulations to Mr. Austin Tardiff. Let's go! My man Austin. It's been a long time coming. He's one of the OGs here on Steelers Talk.
Oh, look, I banned Mile High, and he's back now. Guess what? You're banned again,
Guess
buddy.
what? See ya.
We'll see you, pal.
Have fun paying Russ $80-something million over the next 2 years.
What's the shape of Italy, Mile High? It's a boot, buddy. We'll see ya.
So, Austin, I'm so happy, man. Appreciate Platinum 666 for donating another sticker. So, Austin, you deserve it, my friend. And I have a really good idea for his sticker too,
for
man.
Austin's?
Yeah, I've got a really good sticker.
Yeah.
I've got a really good sticker for Austin.
We got this Venmo coming in. Don't want to forget about this one. Lucas Askew.
Hey, give some love to Lucas. Sending in the $1.50 Venmo. Let's go. Get some Lucases in the chat, man. I want to see Lucas get some love right now. Let's go, Lucas. Appreciate you, man. You're a real one. Woo! Woo! Yeah.
Cassie said she's going to make sure that you get the stickers done on your day off on Fridays.
Yes. Cassie, I need to sit down, and Cassie needs to sit in a chair, just keeping her eyes on me.
Just like spraying you with water.
Yeah, just spray me with water every time I go on my phone or whatever, I need to get these stickers done on Friday, dude. Oh, man. Of course, that's the day that they'll trade for Aiyuk, and we go live for 11 hours. That'll be the day. That'll be the day that we go live for Aiyuk is on Friday. Goodness gracious.
I hope it's not on Friday because I'm going to Austin.
All right, man. Ben says, Jack, we love you. No, I love you guys, man. I love you guys. I mean, we were, almost $600 away. We were about to end the show.
We were about to end the show.
$600 short of extending the streak, and all of a sudden, there's just this outpouring of people donating to the show that love the Steelers, that love Steelers talk. I mean, we're the luckiest two guys in the world.
You guys, man.
We love you, man. You guys are the absolute best.
Hymnal Star says Platinum 666 invite me to your Steeler party.
Yes. Sorry. We got 3 more Venmo alerts here.
3 more? What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm completely getting lost here, okay? So they actually all came from the same people.
We're going to have to, you're going to have to pause that.
I'm just going to send them, and then we'll get to this here.
Okay.
So it's the same person here, Coop. I'm just sending the 3 different amounts.
Cool.
All right, man. Let's go! This one's rolling in from Platinum 666. Bang! Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Platinum with a $100 super chat says, come on, Tiny, pump this up.
Let's go.
He says, I didn't mean Tiny, I meant chat. So come on, chat.
Come on, chat.
Pump this up.
Come on,
Let's
chat.
go. 666. Get those 666s in the chat. And by the way, we've got 3 separate Venmos here. First one for Platinum 666 is a $6.66 Venmo from Dylan Lewandowski. Next one, he sends a $4.12 Venmo for Pittsburgh Fan 412. And then to cap things off for Kurgan Cold, a 69-cent Venmo. Everyone give it up for Dylan Lewandowski in the chat here, folks. One of our Black Diamonds.
Everyone showing love. Everyone showing love. Y'all are awesome.
Sam Lopez says, Platinum, you got to be giving Aiyuk this money. But that's the thing.
Our Rooney needs to give Aiyuk the money.
I mean, it's not even the money. That's the issue.
It's not even, it's the trade
it's just Omar Khan doesn't want to trade more than a second and like a fourth for him.
Do you think at some point Art Rooney will go above Omar Khan's head and be like, you know what, F this, I'm getting this deal done?
It's not impossible, but Rooney isn't really the type of guy to do that.
He never really does that.
And honestly, Omar Khan hasn't done anything to deserve that, right? Now, here's what I'll say. If Aiyuk could have been had in a trade this week or last week for a second-round pick and a third-round pick, and he said no to that, that is a huge... Wait a second. I'm seeing some rumblings right now.
I'm also seeing some rumblings.
Oh, never mind. So Dov just said that CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys are not close to a deal. So now Steelers Twitter is like, let's switch over to CD, but that's not going to happen. CeeDee Lamb, CWK is asking, where's Omar's burner? I don't know.
Seen him today.
I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen him. Like, maybe it's because he didn't want to show his face. Because Omar thinks that the Aiyuk thing is dead now.
What about Ricky? What's Ricky saying today?
Nothing much. He all Ricky has really said was that Aiyuk is in the 49ers building, not because a deal is done, but because he doesn't want to get fined.
Trayvon Diggs tweeted, "Miss my brother" with the CD emoji. Is he pressuring them to get the deal done?
I don't know, man. CD is not going to be coming here, so we don't even have to worry about that. Kevin says, Jack, when you do my sticker, could you do a black and gold metallic 64 Impala? Yeah, we can make that happen, Kevin.
Do that.
I'll put that in my notes right now.
Kurgan says FCD. He's no good.
What year Impala? 64 Impala, black and gold.
Kurgan, unfortunately, CD is very good. He had about 1,500 yards last year.
CD is probably...
100
CD was my pick for Offensive Player of the Year last year.
What did he have, like 110?
He was unbelievable last year.
Hergen, I love you to death, brother, but CD is he's an elite receiver, man. He had 135 catches for 1,749 yards and 12 tutties last year. It's pretty unbelievable.
CD had a great season, man. So unless you want to say Dak Prescott is the reason, like, elevated CD Lamb, which I don't think people want to say.
Dak will be a Raider next year.
Might be a Steeler.
Could be.
I mean, I don't know, man. I do not want to pay that cat $70 million or whatever he says he wants his next contract to be.
Oh, hell no. I wouldn't.
I'd rather go out and trade for Kirk Cousins than sign Dak
100%.
Prescott at that rate.
Actually, 100% I would too.
Yeah. Okay, man. So that's going to be it. I really do appreciate all of you guys. I mean,
we love you guys.
We were literally minutes away from stopping the stream short of extending the streak. And then all of a sudden, they just start flowing in. That just shows how great this community is. You guys are just absolutely fantastic. You guys spoil us each and every show. And I couldn't ask for a better group of Yinsers to spend every Wednesday with. From me and Coop here, man, we'll see you guys Saturday. No live show on Friday. It's our day off. Getting ready. But Saturday, it's going to be Buffalo at home. Russell Wilson going to get some time. Justin Fields going to get some time. It's going to be a great show, man. So make sure you join us on Saturday. It's going to be a great one. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.
Peace.